Hey everybody, how's it going today? It is me, Captain Energy, and today we're taking a look at the Yamaha CS2x. Once again, I have had a question from a subscriber, so I wanted to take this opportunity to go through a little bit more on how to create a patch on the system. Now, this is one of my favorite synthesizers, as you probably know, because it's from back in the 90s when I was, making Euro type music and trance was brand new. It's kind of my favorite genre, my favorite time period in electronic music. And, so I don't mind taking the opportunity to go through some of this and take you guys back with me. Also, it kind of gives me the opportunity to show you a little bit of how music used to be produced, in the sense that, there's so many easier ways to do things today that it's kind of nice to look back and see where we came from, a little bit of historic, reference type thing back to what it used to be or what it used to take to make a track using technology from the 90s. And it's funny that it was as long ago as it was at this point, to think that it's been 30 years now or so. Anyway, let's take a look and see what we got going on here. First, here we are at the Yamaha CS2x, and if you are not familiar with the way the Yamaha CS2x works, basically it has one performance voice and 12 other voices. The one performance voice is a 4-voice composite voice that's made up of 4 different AWM sounds, the wave modulation type sounds that Yamaha uses, their compressed wave format files. Now you can take those 4 sounds and you can do one of a couple things. Well, you can use a bunch of different ways, actually. You can split them so that there is maybe a drum kit on one of the voices and it plays across part of the keyboard. Maybe you put a bass on one of the voices and it plays across part of the keyboard, and then maybe a lead which plays across part of the keyboard. And usually when you do that, what you end up with is one voice for the drum kit, one voice for the bass, and maybe it'd be an octave and a half, so 1 octave, 1.5 octaves, and then 2.5 octaves of the lead type sound. So just to give you a little space to play it all out across the keys without having to octave shift at all type thing, if you were doing that and you were trying to keep it all in one set of keys so you could play it in a performance. If you're not trying to do that, you're trying to have one sound that plays across all the keys and is a multi-layer type sound and just has some variation to it. Maybe it has strings and piano type sound, and maybe when you really hit the keys hard, there's another slightly different instrument that plays based on velocity. You can change. There's a whole bunch of different possibilities here. So we're going to go through a little bit of all of that right now. All right. So, by the way, if this is the kind of content you like, please don't forget to like and subscribe to the channel. I would really appreciate it. I work hard on these videos to make sure that I can help the people out who need help. And I really enjoy assisting you guys learning how to use this technology to make your music better. And you can really help me out by just subscribing to the channel, liking the video, sharing it with your friends maybe. You can buy merch if you want to, or that type of thing. I've got some merch down the bottom, and I'm working on some new stuff right now that I think is going to be pretty interesting and useful, actually. Also, I've got some t-shirts that are informative t-shirts and mugs with information on them that you'll be able to use for reference while you're making music, believe it or not. So first off, when you look at the Yamaha CS1x or CS2x, again CS6x also and beyond, Yamaha layers AWM sounds to create new sounds. What we're looking at right here, if I go over and bring this, I'm going to click this knob. Everything's right up front here. There's not too much menu diviness to this synth, even though there is a little. It's pretty much all in front of you, which is kind of nice. To change the layers of the sound, we go over here, turn this all the way down to the bottom, this last arrow down here, this last line, and we want to be in performance mode. And now we look over here and we can see this minus and plus underneath the arpeggiator here. The minus takes us back to layer 1, and the plus can take us up to layer 4. All right, I'm going to start at layer 1. And we're going to pick performance 128. Now the reason I'm going with 128 is because usually 128 would be a sound that I don't really care much about. Actually, this is a sound I made earlier. I'm just going to erase it and start over so we can kind of have a fresh start. To do that, I'm going to go to layer 1, and I'm just going to go to the bank, all right, right here. So press the first button down, and you'll see that says bank something, some bank here. Just turn that all the way up to the, take the knob, this data wheel right here, turn it all the way left, and that'll turn it off. You want to do that to layer 2, same thing. Go up to layer 3, it's already off. Layer 4 is also already off. Now if I go back down, let's turn this back down to layer 1, okay, and I play, you'll hear nothing. Now that's fine, that's what I want. Where at the beginning we have nothing, no kind of presets going on at all. So as I said, maybe you wanted to set this keyboard up to play a Euro type song. To do that, first what we're going to do is we're going to want a drum kit. And I'm going to put that drum kit on the first octave right here. If you look in the performance guide, the performance list from Yamaha, which you can download off their website, I'll put a link in the description so you can get it. It's for this particular keyboard. If you look at that list, you'll see that Performance Bank 12 has all of the electronic type drum kits in it. You've got a 909, an 808, tech, electric kit, a jungle kit, a hip hop kit, something called kicks, tech effects, and then there's chop 91. There's a whole bunch of different little ones here. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to take bank 1 and we're going to put that on Performance Bank 12 by turning this knob here till we see that says PRE 12. If you get close to it and you have a tough time getting to it, like you're jumping around, whatever, you can use this arrow here to fine tune, fine step up to what you want. All right. Now, so we're on Performance Bank 12, and I'm going to go to, I like the 909 usually, so I'm going to change this to patch 9 or patch 6, which is the 909 kit. It says right here. All right. Now let's look, see what we got going on. Where's my kick? It should be, okay, there's my kick. But I want to bring that, I want that to be down here. Okay. So first what I'm going to do is I'm going to go to Note Shift, turn this knob right here until we get to the line that says Note Shift Tune. And now what I'm going to do is I'm going to take this. Okay, I've got it set for 2 octaves up. That's what's wrong going on there. Let's just change that to 0. Let's turn that all the way down. The note limit is set. So turn that all the way down, and we'll turn the high limit to, let's see, so this is C0, maybe C1. So we want to go maybe to C or to B -1 for our high. Let's just change that right here. I'm doing that using this knob. Since we're on tuning, I can set a note limit right here, note limit high and note limit low. If I change this down to C1, actually is what we want that to be, or C2 rather. C2, and the low is going to be whatever. Low can be as low as you want it to be. Let's put it right there. There we go. All right, so we have all the basics of a 909 kit on 1 octave right here. All right, let's just get rid of this C because we don't need the high to be that high. We need to be 1 less. So put to be 1. All right, so now C2 will be the first note of our bass. Let's go to the next layer. Okay. And go over here. And now we see layer 2 right here. And now I'm going to go down to the bottom again. And we're just going to go to Performance Bank 1. That should get me where I want to be. And in here, that should go Performance Bank 0. And in here, there are a whole list of bass sounds. So let's see, we'll try 15. 15 is called thick. All right. So I'm going to go to my patch. I'm going to turn this up to 15 or down to 15. Or I can just type 15 right here, actually. Okay. Now you can hear that playing still over the drums. We don't want that. So what I'm going to do is we're going to go right here, and we're just going to change the low note to C2 on this bass, okay? So let's go to the low note, to the notes right here. I'm going to hit limit low, and we're going to change that to C2. There we go. Now we have no overlap. Maybe we'll do 2 octaves of bass. What do you think? And then we'll have 2 octaves for lead. That should be enough. Let's make the high note, since we have the low note set to C2, we'll make the high note, and it will be B4. So we'll go over here, and we'll change this to B4 for the high note. Is C4 right there. I'm off by 1. B3, I guess, is what I meant to go for. Let's just lower that. Apparently, I forgot how to count today. All right. Now, what we're also going to do with this while we're here is I'm going to take this, this is nice, but I'm going to lower this down 1 octave because I think that might be a little too high. Yeah. And that sounds pretty good. Let's look at that thick just to see if there's anything else around there. There's a couple other bass sounds that might also work there. So before we commit too much here, let's go back down to the bottom. And we're going to stick in the same performance bank, but I'm just going to go up and down a couple here. Let's try, what does Todd sound like? I'm not sure. That's thick, and this is Todd. Nah, that's not going to be bass sound. How about thin? Let's see, how about, scroll down further. How about we go for Super A, which is it's a bass. That's number 49. Not bad. Yeah, I like that actually. And 50, let's see. That's just a little too present. Now on the plus side here, there's more that we can control here than just picking the sound. This is a good opportunity actually to show you this. All right, so if I have this all the way down at the bottom like I did just now a second ago here, I can go over here and you'll notice that there's this where it says layer, and there are all these different options here. That means that each of these is controlled on a layer basis instead of just, it's not just everything gets attached to the modifications you make. Just these sounds get attached on a layer to whatever options I choose, if that makes sense. So what I'm going to do right now is I'm going to go to cutoff, okay, and we're going to try to turn this cutoff down on this bass, because, and here's the resonance right next to it. See if we can make a better sound out of this. Seems like it's just a little... And let's go back over here. I'm still not loving this bass sound. Maybe we'll go with thaw bass. Alright, now let's tweak this a little. Cut off again. Back over here. That's actually not bad. I kind of like that one actually. Alright, let's go change the resonance a little. Now, I don't like the way this just drops out at the end. So what we're going to do next is I'm going to look over here at the amplification envelope, okay? This right here, if I click up 2 clicks, you'll see this is AEG, amplification envelope generator. That's what that is. I'm going to go, let's look at the attack is set to 0. The decay set to 0, sustain set to 0, and release. I'm going to give it a little bit of release. Kind of like that. All right. We also have a couple other things we can modify here. If I go to filter envelope generator, here we can give this a little bit of can mess with the filter kind of in real time. If I go ahead and change this, we can give this a little bit of little flavor to it. And then there's also right up here we have an LFO, and we have the pitch generator for the envelope also, so we can give it a little bit of bounce with any of that. I'm going to go right here. We go for the amplification modulation LFO, and we'll take that and give that a little tweak. Go to the depth. All right. So now we've got a bass, we've got our drums. Now we just need a lead sound. So we have 2 octaves here with nothing playing on them still, right? Let's go to layer 3. And we're going to go to performance. How about, maybe we'll do something with an organ. That might be fun. So let's go to performance bank 4. And that should be right. There we go. And we'll change that to patch 71. Let's take this, turn this down to 71. Let's see how that sounds. Now you can hear it. This is layering across all the keys. And we don't want that. So let's go and change the low note on that. So we have that set first. So the low limit we want to be right here. So let's go to my low limit. It's going to be, there it is. Okay. Oh, I accidentally went C#4. Now this is fine, but I want the, even though it's here, I want it to play lower. So I'm going to take this and shift it down an octave. Maybe 2. All right, well that's nice. Let's go ahead and do some tweaks to this. Go down, back down to the bottom. We're going to go to the cutoff filter. Feel like this we can get a little bit more out of. Now let's give this a second layer because this is nice, but I feel like this could use a little more, something to boost it a little more. So let's look and see what we have for sounds here. We're still looking, I'm looking through this list here, and there are a ton of sounds on here. Guess what we're gonna go with? Something like maybe Happy Synth B. That sounds like Happy Synth A. That sounds great. All right, so that's in Performance Bank 13 and patch 26. So let's go to layer 4 and I'm going to transfer to patch bank 13. Okay, oops, go right over here. And bank 13 and patch 26. Let's try 27. Not 27, no, I'm sorry. Let's go to the next bank because there's a B also to it. Alright, first we need to fix the what notes are playing, because again it's playing all over the place. So let's go to low limit. Come on. There we go. Now let's go to the envelope here for this sound, because the release is really short, the sustain is really short. So we're going to turn that way up. See if that helps. Yeah, we'll turn the note. And turn the release down, because now we don't need that much release on there. I'm going to change the organ so it has a little more drop out there. There we go. Oof, the tuning is a little off here. All right, so now we've got basically, it's not a perfect set, but you get the idea. All right. Now we've also got, let's see. Let's look at this LFO with this one, because this I think we can do something with also. Let's see about, and we'll try something with the filter modulation here. All right, let's take a look at the effects now. Now that we've got that set up, we can go over and set up our variable effects and our performance effects. So let's go up to effect type, and we'll go with the echo. Now this affects everything, just so you know. Let's see if we can get that down a little lower. I'm not sure if we have another octave to play with there or not. We do. All right, and now that we've got this set up, all right, and now I'm going to store this. I'm going to hit store, and we're just going to hit enter. And I'm just going to leave it overwrite the sound that's there. We could change the name, but right now I just kind of want to have this saved so we can do something with it. Now if I take this into my DAW, which is right here, Cubase, I'm going to bring this over so you can take a look. All right, here we are. I'm on channel 1, okay? And if I go over here and we just go ahead and use just one instrument. I could actually use one instrument, but I'll divide it so we have it separated, and it makes a little more sense. Let's add a track. We'll add another MIDI track, and yes, I want this all to go out on channel 1 because that's what I'm using right now. Not sure why channel 1 is jumping over my other screen, but that's fine. I'll just explain what's happening there. So MIDI inputs, all Focusrite MIDI, yes, yes, yes. And I'll call this one the bass channel. This will be 909. And this will be one more, and this will be my lead. Okay. Now this is using just one instrument, really. 3 different instruments, or 4 different instruments for channels, but they're all coming through on one channel as far as the keyboard is concerned. Drawing my drums real quick. Hey everybody, thanks for hanging out with me. That was pretty much everything. We went through and created a sound from nothing. Created a brand new patch with 3 different sounds to it. Basically it had 4 layers, but it had 3 different parts on the performance. And we created a little jam at the end. So that was pretty much everything I wanted to cover. I hope that that was not too much for one video. If it was, let me know in the comments, and I will try and make it a little more consumable, maybe in smaller chunks somehow, or break it down. Maybe I'll do another video where I do separate pieces, each piece broken down individually. This kind of just went on in one long session for me. It was 2.5 hours, 3 hours of recording that I had to consume and break down to a shorter video that you could watch. Anyway, yeah, that's it. So I'll see you in the next video. Let me know what you thought in the comments, and I'll talk to you later. Bye for now.